Hi there, I'm Mark Pennell, and I'm with some guy, and we're going to talk about the Bible.
Just some guy got off the street. Yeah. What's the Bible say about this?
His name's Paul Sartorelli. He's the executive pastor here.
No, I'm not.
What are you then?
I'm the lead pastor.
Oh, that's right. In layman terms, executive runs the place, and he's the guy that does the. But you do run the place. It is your.
No, but I have somebody else who runs the details, and okay. I'm Queen Elizabeth, and he's Tony Blair.
Oh, okay.
That's not true.
I'm not going to touch that one. You know, before we started, you brought up something that I think I need to recap or remind our viewer/listener about how this started. You and I were taking Saturday morning walks, which I missed because the weather has been inclement and some other things, including your little battle with COVID. Love to take Saturday morning walks at what park? It's a wooded area, just huge, yes. many acres.
It's North Chagrin
Reservation?
Yeah, reservation. Okay. It's suburb of Cleveland. If you're listening from Seattle, you don't know where we're talking about, but it's a suburb of Cleveland. It's a beautiful park.
And I would pester Paul with various questions. And at one time we thought, maybe we ought to just put these thoughts down. I must tell you, it's kind of interesting. I've been in radio, was in radio for 40 some years. And even now, when the microphone's on, I've got this persona that wants to take over that's not me, so to speak. So trying to do these kind of conversations is a little intimidating to me because there's this black thing in front of me picking up what I have to say. Mm-hmm. You aren't bothered. And here I've been the one that was doing it all those years on radio, and I should be less.
But some of you are watching and most of you are listening, which, by the way, I've been listening to us lately just to see how we're doing. We're doing okay. We are both communicators in a sense, right? Yeah. That's our skill set. Yeah. That's our education. And so to be able to communicate significant things, I think, is something that's always been on our heart, right. Which is why we did the Word on the Street radio program for so many years. Yeah. Our desire is to communicate, and to communicate not only some of the spiritual things, biblical things that we interact with, but even just to communicate the value of friendship, the value of interaction. So all those things. So I'm sorry, I interrupted.
No, I think you're right. That's why we called it a fresh take. We're hoping our target audience, I hate that term, but the people we want to talk to the most are those of you who are searching, interested, maybe this thing called Christianity might be an answer, or those of you who are new to the faith and are having some questions.
Yes. So can I just say one thing?
Yeah.
So we decided we would do a show, something that's so elementary to Christianity, to Judaism too, for that matter, and that's the Ten Commandments. The 10 Commandments. You put your pegs like this, and you make sure you do it in the rain because
thou shalt not start fire in tents.
Yes. Yep. Camping is my favorite thing to do in the world.
Oh, you look like it, don't you?
Yeah. I like to camp at the Ritz. So anyway.
It's called glamping.
You're right. So the 10 Commandments is what we're going to do for probably several months now. We're going to look at those ancient rules with a fresh take and go all kinds of ways with that. Here we go. And hopefully it will be really, really relevant for your life and really, really truthful biblically.
That in mind, before this happened, before there were the 10 Commandments, there were really no particular rules, so to speak, that were written down. Is that right?
Yeah, in Judaism, but certainly in the rest of the world.
Oh, my gosh, yes. We'll get to that later. So I did something. I went through a couple of, actually more than a couple of lists of the top 10 things that you can do to improve your life. All right.
Great.
Yes.
Can't wait to hear this.
To make you a happy person. All right. To have me a more fulfilling life. First, I kid you not. Maybe you'll completely agree with them. So forgive me if I'm offending you, but one of them was simplify.
I love that.
It'd be wonderful, but how do you do that? All of us want to simplify. It's kind of like, it's just too general of a term.
No. That's a good rule. Simplicity is a spiritual discipline. To simplify means instead of having 4 cars, go down to 2. Instead of having 2 cell phones, go down to 1 or 0. Or instead of having debt, reduce your debt. Simplify. That's a good rule.
No, I'm not disagreeing with that. But the point is that it's so general. Somebody is looking at it going, what? I don't know, maybe. All right, now here's one that I liked. Enjoy the arts. You and I both love the arts.
Went to the Cleveland Orchestra on Friday night. It was really good. And actually this Friday, we're going to take my mother to the Cleveland Art Museum.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's wonderful.
So enjoy the arts. Support the arts.
Make sure you bring her home.
She is a relic. Sorry, Mom.
God. Anyway, cook at home.
Sure.
Okay.
Do you cook or does Amy?
Mostly her, but
Okay.
I'll make something called dump. It's really tasty.
There's a
actually.
joke in that.
No, I know.
I am not
No,
chasing.
you take sausage and then you put potatoes, hash browns, and you mix them all up. Then you throw in eggs and cheese and put them in a soft tortilla shell, and it is yum yum. It really is.
Okay.
No fat or cholesterol in this, or starch or anything else. Okay, so I don't get this. Bring mindfulness to work. What's mindfulness? I think it's part of yoga or something, isn't it?
Do you guys know? To me, when you say mindfulness, think through what you're going to say.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm going to apply it spiritually. When you pray, think about what you're going to pray. I grew up in a tradition that we prayed the Lord's Prayer. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth. And I went to parochial school. We even had races. Who could say it the fastest?
Oh, really?
So to me, mindfulness is, wait a minute, stop. Think about what you're praying.
Just get through with it.
Yes. So at work, think about it. When your co-employee asks you how you are, be mindful. I'm okay. Oh, my belly hurts. So anyway,
I understand.
I'm not defending your rule. And eventually, by May, we will get to the 10 Commandments. I promise.
We still have a long way to go on this list. So.
Dear.
Okay. Anyway, practice self-care.
Good.
Take a shower once a week.
Oh, come on.
Think happy thoughts.
Haha.
Now that's what I'm talking.
That doesn't really work. I mean, that's
right.
I can think of some TV preachers that would love that.
Oh,
one.
yeah.
Let's go to the Ukraine and tell those people to think happy thoughts.
Right. Oh, look, my building's gone. How can you be happy with that? Just move. Like out of your house.
That's what I keep telling my neighbor. Would you just move already?
Get off my lawn.
Sorry, Mike. But it does help. Just move. I took my mom out to dinner last night. I'm still sitting in my belly. I had this, it was really good shrimp with panka breadcrumbs.
He's always doing this. I go to a restaurant and order a cheeseburger. That's plain, by the way.
But it was so heavy. So I needed to just move. I drove my mom home and ended up watching a tennis match on TV, and I needed to move. If you want your belly to feel better, just move.
Which leads to walk, which I guess is
That's a really good thing.
Yeah. Take a different route to work.
Yeah.
That's going to make you happy?
Well, it's going to keep the monotony out. That's not a bad idea.
Reduce caffeine. Now we're going to have a big argument about that.
I don't want to reduce caffeine. Right. You get a nice espresso in the morning. It has caffeine in it, but it's so good. And the smell.
You introduced me to espresso. Yum, yum.
Yes. It has to have a head on it, though.
Get up earlier. Now, that sounds silly, but to me, it's actually important. I used to get up very early when I was in radio, like 4:30, sometimes 3:30 in the morning. That was a little too early. But recently, I've been retired, and recently I've gotten in this habit of really sleeping in late and then going to bed late. Well, I got up the other day early because I had to take a modem in to have it replaced. It was wonderful. Yeah. It was so peaceful, and it was just a wonderful.
Here's my goal in life. Viewers and listeners, hold me to it. You hold it to me. Yeah. A friend just gave me a book to read called The 5 a.m. Club. It was actually very interesting. It was a little bit overly motivational speaking with a touch of Buddhism and a little bit. But the whole idea is own your morning. And the goal is I might choose 5:30, but get up at the exact same time every day. Yeah. And for an hour before you start work. And I sort of Christianized it, divide the hour into 3:20s. Okay. So I need to do this. 5:30, I would get up. For 20 minutes, I would exercise. Yeah. I would do my dumbbells. I would do my jumping jacks, my push-ups. For 20 minutes, I'd work up a sweat. Yeah. For 20 minutes, I'd read my Bible. Okay. And then for 20 minutes, I would journal and pray and sort of give my day to the Lord. I want to do that.
That sounds wonderful.
Yeah, it really does. I just need to get there. 5:30 for 1 hour. And that way, then the goal is to get up at the exact same time every day. Own your morning. Okay. We're not giving you anything about the 10 Commandments, but we're telling you all about how to have a happy life.
I'm just saying these are rules that the secular world has brought up to try to make us happier.
But some of them are good.
Okay, I'm not arguing. Some of them aren't, like run for office.
No. Well, some people should. And we should have more believers who run for office.
Absolutely. No.
I have a good friend. He always used to tell that to me. He said, man, you should run for office because you have a foundation, a biblical foundation, but you're not stereotypical to many born again politicians. You should run for office. I have no inclination at all.
For one thing, it'll just tear you up. People will be attacking you from left and right. Anyway, drink more water. And there you go.
I thought you said drink more wine. Drink more water.
Well, maybe it's somewhere in there. Weightlifting. You do your dumbbells.
Yes. And the older you get, you need to, because your muscle mass.
I've never been exercising.
These are fine tips from Fresh Take.
Okay.
They don't have a biblical ounce to them, but they're good stuff.
Take control. What does that mean?
Well, it depends who you are. I mean, I still do enough marriage counseling where sometimes it's the husband who's just this wimpy guy, and I take control, man. Yeah. Let's go. I mean, don't dominate your home, or even at work. I guess the opposite of that is be passive. Don't be passive. Take control.
Okay. Never doubt yourself. Now, to me, that kind of borderlines on narcissism.
Yeah, it sort of does.
Never doubt yourself. Be kind.
Remember that song, Cruel to Be Kind?
Yeah. Who did that?
I don't remember. But you should be kind. That's one of the fruit of the Spirit. We're getting biblical now, folks.
Smile at least 10 times a day. I'm sorry. I'm not going to sit there and go, that was number 9. It just doesn't.
I know some TV preachers that smile 110 times a day.
Learn CPR. I like this one.
Learn CPR.
I understand that.
All right.
Eat ice cream from the container rather than putting one serving in a bowl. I like that.
Okay.
Unfortunately,
I love ice cream, by the way.
Unfortunately,
what's your favorite ice cream?
Mint chocolate chip, especially Breyers. Oh, yum. I mean, if you're listening to us from Seattle, you're missing out something.
Yep.
I'll tell you.
And if you're listening to us from Cincinnati, Grater's ice cream.
Oh, yeah. What am I saying?
Rocks.
No. I was wrong about Breyers. Yes, it's definitely great. Yes.
But to eat from the container.
Chunks, huge chunks.
Yeah. I'm a coconut fan. They have a coconut chunk that, it's to go for.
Yum.
But if you eat from the container, your kids will watch you and they're going to copy you. But go ahead. Anything else in this tremendously biblical day of Fresh Take?
Well, I'm leading to something here. These are all great.
Folks, he's leading to something.
Well, I am, and we'll get to it in a minute. Recycle your aggression. I didn't understand that one because that means if you're going to recycle it, do you come back and use it again? I don't understand.
Yes, but when you use it again, you're green.
Okay. Release your guardians.
The Indians have released
their guardians.
They're now the Guardians. Right. The Cleveland baseball team, by the way, are now the Cleveland Guardians, and they have a payroll of. They're like one of the bottom 3 payroll in all of baseball. Yeah. It's don't get me started on sports. I am so down on Cleveland sports right now.
Whoa. Break up with a person you never really liked.
Okay, this show's over.
Which leads to laugh, which we're doing now.
Very good.
Hopefully.
Let me just add just a modicum of Bible into this. I'm convinced Jesus laughed at times.
Oh, yeah. He was sarcastic sometimes.
Yes.
Enjoy.
Enjoy what? Just enjoy.
Just enjoy. And that's one of the reasons I wrote it down, because it's like, enjoy. Well, how do I do that? Or what do I do? Or just enjoy is way too general.
Yeah. Again, I don't think I can go to Kiev and tell those people enjoy.
Yes, right. Or the final one, love.
I like that.
But, okay, let me ask you this. Where does love come from? I mean, do we build it? Are we inventing it?
That's this could be a show about love, because to the non-biblical world, I hate that sounds so judgmental. Yeah. I don't mean that. Love is a feeling. In the biblical sense, love is not. The feeling is the byproduct of a commitment. God so loved the world that he gave. Mm-hmm. And so those of us who believe that God loved the world and gave us his son, we now have the Holy Spirit who produces the fruit of love in us.
Right.
And love is every time you go to a wedding, love is kind, love is patient, love is good. The fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, patience. So I like love, but it ain't a feeling, folks, even though sometimes that's the byproduct. It is the actions of commitment to seek your best.
Right. And sometimes when you're on your knees at your worst and you're as down as you can get, you have to rely on the fact that there is love coming from your God, even though you do not feel it at all. You just have to latch onto that and believe that it is there. there. And even if you don't feel it, he is there and he does love.
Come to our show on the 10 Commandments.
It took us only 17 minutes to introduce it. All right. There are two different versions of it. And we really won't go too much further today because we're already running out of time. I do want to get things started. There are two different versions of the 10 Commandments, and you're going to get more involved with them. But if you want to go along with us now, or maybe catch up to what we're talking about before we get to our next podcast.
And what passage of scriptures are they?
Exodus,
yes,
20, verses 2 through 17, and then Deut. I love that. It's Deuteronomy, but I love to call it Deut.
And the reason it's called Deuteronomy, it's the second giving of the law. So that's why it's repeated again. So it's the law again.
Oh, wow. Oh, cool.
Yes.
I remember that. Deuteronomy 5, verses 6 through 21.
So can I tell a story just really quickly?
Yeah.
So why are those in there?
Yeah.
So God created the human race and all of creation, and the human race, starting with Adam and Eve, completely blew it.
Right.
And so that which was created perfect fell, broken.
Right.
And so then God did his plan sort of to redeem and restore humanity.
Right.
And it began with one particular person. God said, I'm going to start with one guy, and his name is Abraham. And through him, all of the nations of the world will be blessed. And so Abraham had a son named Isaac. Isaac had a son named Jacob. Jacob had 12 sons, and those are the 12 tribes of Israel.
Okay.
They end up in Egypt in a hot mess.
Right.
Finally, after years and years of slavery in Egypt, the Lord miraculously, you've seen the movie with Charlton Heston.
Worst actor of all time, but anyway.
So Moses brings them out of Egypt, and before they are about to enter into their new land, Canaan, which will now be known as Israel eventually, they need some laws.
Okay.
And so these laws, and more than just the 10 Commandments, the whole, in a sense, the book of Leviticus are those laws. And the 10 Commandments are sort of the sample, the supremacy of the moral law that God wants his people to live by. And so the beginning of the 10 Commandments just says this: I am the Lord your God who brought you out of Egypt, out of slavery. I am the Lord your God. And then here come the commands. So in a sense, these laws are for those people, and then for the redeemed people after them, which would be also us.
Okay.
So that's, God wanted to restore the human race. He had a nation named Israel. This is the way that the nation of Israel are meant to live. Then out of Israel would come a son named Jesus, and he would be the savior of the world, who then comes back around and takes these 10 laws, not all 10, but several of them as an example, to say, okay, it's important that you don't murder, but let's go deeper to your heart. It's important that you don't commit adultery, but let's go deeper to your lust. So that's the overview.
What I always found interesting, you learned this years ago. Unfortunately, just as we always do as humans, we took the idea of the 10 Commandments so much so and picked it apart so much so that we ended up with 613 laws by the time Christ showed up.
Yes. I'm not sure we did, but they did.
Yeah. Well, I'm saying we as humans.
Yes.
I found this out. I had to double check on it. There are 613 letters in the Jewish form of the 10 Commandments, supposedly.
Okay.
That seems like a lot to me. But anyway, that's what I read. Just thought I'd pass that along. A little bit of trivia.
And if that is true, check us. I could see the priests then, the reason there are 613 laws is maybe, again, don't hold me to this, maybe one law for each letter of the 10 Commandments. The 10 words. That's what they called them, the 10 words.
That's right. I read that. I didn't understand it, but okay. Well, that's where we're going to wrap it up now, but we will actually get into the meat next time on our podcast. Until then, I'm Mark Penn along with Paul Sottorelli, and thank you for watching/listening.
We'll see you.